In the now approaching Maharashtra elections, the BJP and the Congress have now released their manifesto. In the BJP manifesto given by Home Minister Amit Shah, farmers and women remain in focus, and the manifesto focuses on the state's economic growth and its infrastructure. Shortly after, Mr. Kharge released the manifesto, where farming, industry, employment are amongst the focus as part of the manifesto. We'll talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Charu Pragya, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party; Dr. Pooja Tripathi, National Spokesperson, Congress Party; Dr. Seema Malik, Spokesperson for the NCP; Sharad Faction, and last but by no means the least, Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst, with us on the program as well.
That when you promise cash incentives to women, does it come under freebies or does it come under the Ladki Behin Yojana? When you promise cash incentives to the women of Haryana, does it come under the freebies or the Yojana?
Okay, all right. I have to get in Rajalakshmi into this conversation as well. Rajalakshmi, what do you make of what Pooja said? Would you categorize it or dismiss it as whataboutery? Because that's what we end up doing many a times on the show. What about this? What about that? Or do you think there is metal to what Dr. Pooja Tripathi said? And let us also not forget that when it comes to taxation, when it comes to income, when it comes to the contribution towards our GDP, Maharashtra is a very important state.
Good afternoon, Vineet, and thank you for having me on your show. And yes, it was definitely a lot of whataboutery, because definitely, there were a lot of questions, like especially when it comes to some other states. The guarantees that were made in some other states in the past few elections, they are actually in complete distress. So when the national president of the Congress goes and he tells in Karnataka that we should not make guarantees that we cannot fulfill, I think that is a very telling picture, and that is a sign of great distress. And I'm shocked that in spite of that, again the Congress is again finding itself in this kind of a competition where they will just be offering more and more of these doles. Yes, I will call it doles. And to Miss Pooja Tripathi, Dr. Pooja Tripathi's question or statement about whether this is a welfare scheme or doles or freebies or whatever you may call it, it was just a matter of time before all political parties jump into this and say that yes, we will also give these kind of welfare schemes. You call it welfare schemes in other states. When you introduce this in Karnataka, it's a welfare scheme. When somebody else introduces it in Maharashtra, then it becomes a dole. So, so that is something that is a very hypocritical statement, I would say. So somebody who is not able to answer that should not be questioning other people. And when it comes to comparisons, I would say that, if you look at the state of Ladli Behna in Madhya Pradesh, I think they're doing definitely fine. When you compare it with what happened in Karnataka, as soon as the elections were over, the state government, the new state government of the Congress, they started pointing fingers towards the center, and they started questioning them. They started asking them for the free rice, because they had promised 10 kilos of free rice. So, which they were not able to fulfill, and they had no idea how they were going to do that. Now in Himachal Pradesh, they had promised the sun and the moon, and then now what they're doing is they are trying to tax the people for the toilets that were built by the Modi government. So these kind of things, when you're not able to actually factor in how you're going to be able to fulfill all those guarantees, that is the problem, Vineet. So it is not about what you are offering, it is about how you're going to be offering that. If it is going to be something where you're going to arm twist one part of the population and tax them more and more and give it to one part of the other part, then it is definitely not workable. And in spite of that, if it is just going to come with terms and conditions and you're not going to be doing it at all, and you're going to just keep blaming the central government, then definitely it's a big failure. So that is the reason why the Congress, even in spite of having, say, maybe just a few months, like say for example in the Lok Sabha elections, they did very well in Haryana, but then it took hardly any time for them to get into anti-incumbency, and then they actually lost very badly in Haryana, which was definitely something that I think that they should have learned some lessons out of it.
Okay.
I don't think that Congress has not fulfilled any promises or something. There's for small things they are telling, and then I think the seats of opposition are not getting their GST shares, and all those problems are there with the opposition parties in the states in which the opposition is there. And see you see they don't they are telling like this that we have not fulfilled any promises, and they have given at the time of when they lost the Lok Sabha elections, then they like Achanak they have remembered the Ladli Behna Yojana.
But first of all, ma'am, let me remind you that Bharatiya Janata Party has not lost the general elections. Congress seems to still be in La La Land. The government is a Bharatiya Janata Party-led government. And when you are quoting all these numbers to me, it just kind of feels like you're disconnected from reality. You want to talk about farmers. You had your government in Rajasthan. You promised to waive off the loans. Instead, you took their land even. You did the same thing in Karnataka. You said that you're going to waive off loans. Tell me, how many loans have you waived off in Karnataka? Absolutely none. You've been promising money to women in every single state. In fact, you have destroyed the state coffers in every single state that your party has galti se come into power. A contesting member of the Bharatiya Janata Party who's now contesting from Shiv Sena, she was called all kinds of things. She was called imported mal. Who spoke up? So women want respect. They're not looking for handouts. Now that
Okay.
has become a problem.
All right. Okay. We've run out of time, but nevertheless, we got a lot in the limited time that we had. Appreciate everyone who joined us and spoke their minds.